Welcome everybody. It is 7:01 and we are going to get started because we have a lot of information to cover in this event. So let's get started with our presentation. Again, welcome to the special event, New Models and Insider Tips for Going EV. I'd like to start off by introducing myself and my Acterra colleagues. My name is Ariane Erickson, and I am the GoKarlKnapp Go EV manager. Tonight, I am joined by Linda Hutchins-Knowles, the GoKarlKnapp Go EV senior manager, and Irvin Rivero, our Climate Corps AmeriCorps Beneficial Electrification Fellow. Before we begin, I want to talk just a little bit about Acterra in case you're not familiar with our organization. We are a San Francisco Bay Area nonprofit that was established way back in 1970. Our mission is to bring people together to create local solutions for a healthy planet. Currently, we are laser focused on addressing climate change with a priority on equity. Acterra produces numerous educational events throughout the course of the year. I wanted to bring your attention to two of these upcoming events. Our first spring lecture is titled Climate Change and Drought, and will take place on Wednesday, February 16th at 4 p.m. And that will be followed by, in March on the 25th, Acterra's annual flagship event, which is called Promise to Our Planet. And we have a huge lineup of speakers. We hope that you will join us in this very special celebration of truth, justice, action, and Acterra. So let's talk about Acterra's GoKarlKnapp Go EV program. This program is named after the late Karl Knapp. He was a much admired Stanford professor, renewable energy expert, EV advocate, and all-around earth champion. So highlights of our program include our wonderful EV ambassadors who you will meet momentarily. We provide consultations for income qualifying residents who seek to go EV. We also advocate for EV charging access for apartment dwellers, and we conduct a variety of educational events throughout the year. We do all of these things because we believe that making the switch to a clean vehicle is really one of the most important things that any single individual can do to help fight climate change. So, because this is an explosive year for the EV market, we have a new campaign we're calling 2022 the Year of the EV, and we'll be conducting more educational events than ever before. So first up after tonight is an EV 101 workshop on February 23rd that will cover the basics of EV ownership. And our March 10th clinic will cover the many financial incentives available to income qualifying residents. And that clinic will be presented in both English and Spanish. Please go to our website for more information and to RSVP. Before we begin with the presentation, we would like to thank our presenting sponsor of tonight's event, the City of Palo Alto Utilities. So let's quickly talk about the program. We'll begin by introducing tonight's breakout room hosts, and then we're going to dive into the many up-and-coming models, as well as some of the tried and true models. So I want you to note that this presentation is considered an EV 102 presentation. So I will not be spending time on EV basics, such as charging and rebates. Those are covered in our EV 101 workshops. And please also note that I will be covering a very large number of cars in a very short time. So I am going to be going fast. But fear not, we will be sending a recording of the presentation and the slide deck to all attendees next week. So if a slide goes by too fast, you'll be able to revisit it at your leisure next week. All right, then after a rundown of all the EVs, and they will be a large swath of the EVs that are coming out this year, but it's not all inclusive and all encompassing. I couldn't fit in all the EVs coming out this year into this single presentation, but we have a lot of good EVs that I will cover. And after that, I'll provide some purchasing and charging tips, and then we'll head into our breakout rooms where our EV ambassadors will answer your individual questions. We'll then return to the main room so that you can enter our drawing for a level 2 home charger, which is worth $600. And all you have to do to enter that drawing is complete our very short survey. And hopefully we'll wrap up by 8 p.m. Let's quickly now move over to protocol. I need to tell you that this session is being recorded and that you can turn your video camera off or on because this Zoom is in a meeting format. We do ask that you stay muted until the breakout sessions. And in the breakout sessions is when we really want you to turn on your video and turn on your microphone and engage with the co-hosts and ask questions and make yourself seen. We do ask that you hold all of your questions until the breakout rooms because of the large amount of content in this presentation. All of our EV ambassadors are experts and they will be able to answer as many of your questions as possible once you enter the breakout rooms. So with that in mind, let's introduce our EV ambassadors. So tonight we have the pleasure of being joined by Mike Harrigan, Barry Wolf, Sari Suki, John Reister, and our special guest EV ambassador, Steve Schaefer, who is the staff technical writer at Rivian. We are also joined by Greg Bell, Brennan Balson, Joe Sudzinski, and Joe Teresi. All of these EV ambassadors have many years of experience driving and owning electric vehicles, and they will be sure to at least attempt to answer any question that you're willing to throw at them. And that will happen when we have the breakout room session time. Okay, so the caveat before we actually start diving into these new models is I really have to address the state of the market. This 2-year pandemic has caused a semiconductor chip shortage, which you all probably know about, as well as numerous other supply chain disruptions. And that in turn has caused a scarcity in all passenger vehicles, including electric vehicles. So the release dates for most of these new models have been pushed back, and they may continue to be pushed back. And the demand for the available of vehicles exceeds current supply. So inventory is low. It's very tight right now across the board. So that means that the most popular vehicles, both EVs and gas-powered cars, are pretty hard to find. And they generally contain a dealer markup of anywhere between $2,000 and $10,000. Unfortunately, this chip shortage is expected to last well into the second half of this year. That's the bad news. The good news is that you can still make your next electric car, your next car electric, with patience and resourcefulness and a little bit of luck and some strategies that we'll be discussing later in this presentation. So with that caveat about the state of the market, let's get started looking at some very exciting up and coming electric vehicles. We will start the presentation with trucks and full-sized SUVs. So the Rivian R1T, you have probably heard about it. It has made a big splash in the industry. It is the very first electric pickup truck to come to market. They started producing them late last year. The company Rivian is considered a startup, but they've actually been around for a while. And their motto is they make vehicles for the planet. So the R1T is built for off-roading and adventure travel. It offers standard all-wheel drive. It has really fast acceleration. It has adjustable air suspension, so it can adjust the clearance height from 8 to 14 inches. It has an amazing towing capacity of over 11,000 pounds, and it has a 1,700 pound payload capacity. So the special features of the Rivian R1T are pretty fun. First of all, Rivian is providing a dedicated fast charging network for its customers, and that's similar to Tesla's supercharger network. And the cool thing is that it does feature plug and charge capabilities, which means you don't have to use your phone or a key fob in order to connect with the charger. You simply pull up, plug the cord into your vehicle, and the charging station and the vehicle recognize one another. That is called plug and charge. Their stations are powered by wind and solar whenever possible, and they can be located using the vehicle's navigation system. So the plan for Rivian is to fill a need for their customers who travel to state parks and other outdoor destinations where current fast chargers are in scarce supply. Another really cool feature about the R1T that you probably know about is that there is a lot of cool optional adventure gear that you can purchase for these things. As you see in the inset picture down below, the Rivian R1T has a gear tunnel, and I'm pointing to it right now. And whoops, let me go back, sorry about that. And that can hold additional supplies and equipment. And in this one photo, you actually see that you can purchase an optional camping stove that slides right in and out of that gear tunnel. You can also purchase a 3-person tent to go on top of the back of the vehicle, as well as bike, surfboard, and kayak mounts, etc. Let's talk about the availability. You can pre-order an R1T online with a refundable $1,000 deposit, but you have to keep in mind that they have just started production. So it's not, I don't know how long it will take to receive your vehicle if you reserve it today. There is likely to be quite a wait because these vehicles are extremely popular. So let's move on to Rivian's second vehicle that is coming out soon. That's all I can say. I don't really know any further details than that. And it is the Rivian R1S. The S stands for SUV. It is, as you can see, a full-sized SUV. So the range that it offers and its size make it really good for car trips, large families, pets. It's available in either 5 or 7-seat configurations. This thing can tow up to 7,700 pounds. It has an all-glass panoramic roof, which in the future can actually be removable. It has highway assist features. And in terms of deliveries, it's not out yet. So, and they have been taking reservations on this particular model for a couple of years now. So they are going to need to fulfill those orders first. So again, I cannot tell you what the wait time is if you order this vehicle today, but it's coming soon. All right, let's move on. Most of you probably have heard about the Ford F-150 Lightning because it made a huge splash when they announced it. The reason partially is that the F-Series by Ford is America's best-selling truck. So their F-150 Lightning was very highly anticipated. The F-150 Lightning maintains the Built Ford Tough motto. This thing can tow 10,000 pounds. It can hold 2,000 pounds of payload. Four-wheel drive is obviously standard. It can do some serious off-roading. One of the amazing features that distinguishes this electric vehicle from all others at this point in time is what is called Ford Intelligent Backup Power. And what that means is this vehicle can utilize its battery to provide full home backup power for up to 3 days if its battery is full. You do have to purchase the optional Ford Home Charger system in order to enable it to provide electricity to your home. But when you purchase that system, and if you have a power outage, this vehicle basically becomes a power generator for your home. It's a unique feature at this point that is only available on the Ford F-150, but as time progresses, more and more vehicles will have this capacity to actually charge your home. It also contains a whopping 11 outlets. So it can provide electricity for all your needs. If you want to plug in a TV or a laptop or any kind of appliance. And then if you look at the inset picture in the lower right-hand corner, you can see that it also provides what it's calling a mega power frunk, which is basically a front trunk. It also provides hands-free driving on select blue zone freeways. And it actually has faster acceleration than the gas-powered 150. It goes from 0 to 60 in about 4 seconds. Or as President Biden said, this sucker's fast. So how do you get one? It has been so enormously popular that they have closed reservations. However, Ford has realized that this thing is so popular and is such a game changer that they announced recently that they are increasing production to meet this extremely unexpected demand. So hopefully they will ramp up, and this will really help push the truck market into clean vehicles. Okay, we're going to switch now to what I call crossover SUVs. And they're called crossovers because they're smaller than full-size SUVs. They're built on a car platform versus a truck platform. And unless otherwise noted, they hold up to 5 passengers. So let's start with the Hyundai Ioniq 5. This is the first of many planned EVs from Hyundai. I think it has a really unique futuristic design. It also has a very airy interior with fully reclining front seats, as you can see in that little photo insert. One of the special features that distinguishes this vehicle from all others is its ultra fast charging. If you plug this into a fast charger, it can receive up to 60 miles of range in just 5 minutes. Incredible. As I said, this is the first model of the Hyundai brand to be designed as an electric vehicle. So it is built from the ground up as an electric vehicle. And because of that, they've created a skateboard platform specifically for this car. And the skateboard platform actually allows this vehicle and other electric vehicles that have a skateboard platform, it allows it to have a longer wheelbase and also a flatter floor than gas-powered cars. And that creates more space for people in storage. And so that's a common theme in these electric vehicles that are specifically built from the ground up. They tend to have a lot more space in the cabin. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 also has what's called vehicle to load charging, or V2L. So you can consider this EV as a source of electricity for any device or appliance that you can plug into an outlet. So you can power your laptop, an electric bike, an induction cooktop, etc. This vehicle also comes with 2 years of unlimited 30-minute complimentary charging sessions on Electrify America's fast charging network. I'm really excited about this one. Okay, next, let's talk about the Kia EV6. Kia is a sister company to Hyundai, so some of these vehicles share the same technology. I think this is one of the most exciting EVs to come out this year. It's already available in the UK, and it's been extremely popular. It was also dubbed the 2022 German Premium Car of the Year, which apparently is a very high honor. As you can see, it's a sporty crossover. Some of the cool features are that it has available augmented reality head-up display. It also has super fast acceleration. It can go from 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds. That's as fast as the Ford F-150 Lightning. It has available all-wheel drive. It also has vehicle to load charging. And you can see in the photo inset down at the bottom right that it's charging a movie projector and a popcorn machine. This vehicle can even charge other electric vehicles that might happen to need a charge, albeit very slowly, but it has that ability. You'll see in the upper left corner, it has dual curved screens. It does have level 2 autonomous highway driving. It also can charge ultra fast, 60 miles of range received in 5 minutes. And it's a highly anticipated model, and it's due to come out when? Soon. That's all I know. All right, let's move on to Nissan. So Nissan finally has its next electric vehicle after producing the wonderful Nissan Leaf for many, many years. The Nissan Ariya, which is due late this year, is kind of a larger and a more fashionable, shall we say, version than its Leaf cousin. Some of its special features are that it contains zero gravity seats. It has built-in Alexa voice recognition. It has wireless Apple CarPlay. It also comes with 2 years of free EVgo membership. That is another charging system with chargers located throughout the country. And with the EVgo membership, it provides $500 in charging credits. They say on the website that they're now taking reservations for a fully refundable $500 deposit. All right, here's an impressive fact about Subaru. 96% of Subaru vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today, more than any other brand in the industry. So Subaru really has its ardent followers. So for all of you Subaru fans, the Soltera was named by combining the Latin words for sun and earth. So it has 8.3 inches of ground clearance, and it has symmetrical all-wheel drive, which I think Subaru is known for. And that gives it outstanding traction on all kinds of road and trail surfaces and weather conditions. So this crossover SUV is made for serious off-roading outdoor adventures. Release date, sometime in the summer, fall of this year. The Fisker Ocean is another model that is highly anticipated among EV advocates. Their primary concern is to have a sustainably built SUV. So they do everything they can to minimize its carbon footprint. The interior is made with a bunch of upcycled materials and also includes vegan leather. A cool feature is that it has a very large rotating center screen. It has a full-length retractable solar roof. You can actually see that in the inset photo in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. It has self-parking capability. It also has vehicle-to-load capability. And select trims have a range of up to 350 miles. So this is one of the longest range SUVs that you're going to find. It will come out, oh, I see that I didn't put the release date. They're thinking not until late this year. Okay, let's move on to luxury models. Everybody is probably aware of the Lucid Air. I think it's safe to say that this electric vehicle is one of the most anticipated vehicles of the year, and for good reason. It actually has the longest range of any electric vehicle currently produced, up to 500 miles on a full charge. In addition to that, it has ultra fast acceleration. This vehicle can go from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. It also has one of the fastest, if not the fastest, charging time of any electric vehicle. So when you are using a level 3 charger, the Lucid Air can charge up to 20 miles per minute. It could also gain 300 miles in 20 minutes. It also has the distinction of having the largest frunk of any electric car. Again, that is the trunk that's in the front of the vehicle. It has an optional solid glass roof that spans the entire cabin, which you can see in the upper left inset photo. Lucid calls it a roof with a view. It contains extra spacious second row legroom, luxury finishes, and a suite of driver safety features, all of which combine to make it Motor Trend's 2022 Car of the Year. So a very few vehicles came out in November of 2021. They are now taking reservations for a $300 fully refundable deposit. And for customers in the United States that make a reservation by June 30th of this year, They will provide 3 years of free charging at any Electrify America station. All right, let's talk about BMW's luxury car offering. It's called the iX, and they're calling it a luxury sports activity vehicle. It's fast. In fact, the M60 trim is considered its high performance version. It will be available in June, and it will accelerate from 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. Also, because it has a dedicated EV platform, it has a long wheelbase and a spacious cabin. It has frameless doors. It has dual motor all-wheel drive. It has a large curved display, as you can see in the photo in the upper left-hand corner, and a very stylish interior. It offers Wi-Fi hotspot with a 5G cellular connection, and it contains an 18-speaker Harman Kardon stereo system with an optional 30-speaker Bowers and Wilkins system, which apparently is a big deal. All right, let's talk about Cadillac. Who would have known? The traditional Cadillac brand has produced a stylish and modern luxury crossover SUV, and they're very proud of it. The standout features of the Cadillac Lyriq include a 2-tier head-up display, hands-free freeway driving, noise cancellation technology to help keep the cabin quiet, and it does have very fast level 3 charging, but it also has very fast level 2 charging. And that's because it has a 19 kilowatt onboard charger. And that can add up to 52 miles of range per hour when you're using a level 2 charger. And that's something that's somewhat unique to all the EVs out there. Release date, supposedly summer of 2022. Okay. We've talked about all of these new luxury electric vehicles, but we cannot forget about Tesla. I'm showing right now the Tesla Model Y, but as you know, you probably are very familiar with all the other Tesla models because they've been around a while and they really were the game changer for electric vehicles. But we'll just talk briefly about Tesla Y. It has a great range. Its standout features, of course, are that it has a dedicated supercharger network, which means you're never far from a fast charge. And it also has one of the most advanced autopilot systems available anywhere. The Tesla Y also seats up to 7 people, and it's an IHSS top safety pick, all of which makes the Tesla Y the best-selling electric vehicle in America. So I looked up on their website, and if you order a Tesla Model Y today with a $250 non-refundable deposit, the estimated delivery for the performance trim is March, and the long-range trim is August. So we end the luxury segment with the Tesla Y, and now we're going to move on to currently available models. And I'm including them because you might be saying to yourself that these upcoming SUVs and luxury EVs are great, but what's available for me to buy now? So I'm going to show you 4 models that have been in production for long enough that they are relatively available to purchase or order right now. The caveat being that there is an inventory shortage across the board. And so let's dive right into some of these models that are available now. First up, we have the VW ID.4. It is a really solid car. We have a couple of EV ambassadors that will be in the breakout room that own the VW ID.4, and they will tell you that it is a good purchase. It was released late last year. Some of its standout features include available all-wheel drive and free fast charging on all Electrify America fast charging stations for 3 years. This handles like a European car. It's a really fun car to drive. I test drove one late last year. Okay, the Ford Mach E. This is a highly popular electric vehicle. It is actually a 21st century update of the iconic Ford Mustang, and it is Car and Driver's 2021 EV of the year. And for good reason. It has great range. It can accelerate really quickly. It has great horsepower, great torque, instant acceleration. It's a muscle car, and it looks good too. Okay, last but not least, we have our two reliable, fun to drive, affordable, most beloved electric vehicles on the market. Both the Chevrolet Bolt and the Nissan Leaf have high owner satisfaction. They've proven themselves because they've been around for several years. The Nissan Leaf has been around for about 10 years now. These two vehicles have helped propel the EV movement forward. And for that, we must really applaud them. They're fantastic cars. I happen to own a Chevy Bolt. Our EV ambassadors that will be in the breakout rooms also own Chevy Bolts and Nissan Leafs. They have a great range of 259 miles for the Bolt, up to 226 miles for the Nissan Leaf. And they are two of the most affordable 100% electric vehicles on the market today. A caveat about the Chevrolet Bolt, there is a recall on its battery. So they cannot sell any Chevy Bolts until they fix the recall on the battery. So my thinking, and you may or may not agree with me, but my thinking is that they have a lot of Bolts that are just sitting there waiting in their factories to be sold. And when they fix the battery problem, I believe that they will burst out of the gate with a lot of Bolts that are ready to be sold. And hopefully that will relieve some of the inventory problem and reduce any type of premium on the Chevy Bolt, and maybe even return us to a wonderful era when the Chevy Bolt was actually offering incredible rebates and was really a fantastic deal. That's just my thinking. We'll see what happens when the recall is fixed. Okay, so the last segment that we're going to talk about are plug-in hybrids, otherwise known as PHEVs. These are for people who don't have access to home charging or work charging, maybe if you live in an apartment complex, or if you take frequent long distance road trips, a plug-in hybrid might be the best option for you. So I'm going to talk about two of them. The first is the ever popular Toyota RAV4. The gas-powered version is the most popular SUV in the market today. So it's no wonder that the plug-in hybrid version is in high demand. There is a premium on this vehicle even before COVID caused the chip shortage. It is that popular, and they're just not producing enough. The reason it's so popular is because it has the longest battery-only range of any plug-in hybrid. It can travel 42 miles on electricity alone and 600 miles using both electricity and gas. You can go anywhere in this car. It's also the only plug-in hybrid that qualifies for the entire $7,500 federal tax credit. Keep in mind, the federal tax credit, which we'll talk a little bit more about later, the amount is based upon the size of the battery. And so this plug-in hybrid has a big enough battery that it qualifies for the full credit. This vehicle also offers 2 years of free scheduled maintenance and roadside assistance, standard all-wheel drive, and it has one of the best battery warranties of any EV. Its warranty is for 10 years or 150,000 miles. All right, the second plug-in hybrid that we're going to talk about is the Kia Sorento plug-in hybrid. This is the standout features is that the Kia Sorento actually has 3 rows and it can seat 6 passengers. This is a relatively new feature of electric vehicles. In the past, electric vehicles have been quite small, and very few have been able to offer seating for more than 5 people. But the Kia Sorento is a really great entry. It seats 6 passengers, and it does that because its second row has captain chairs, and so that allows it really easy access into the third row for a total of 6. So, and it has a pretty decent 32-mile electric range, and then its gas engine will kick in for a total range of 460 miles. So again, you can go pretty much anywhere in this Kia Sorento plug-in hybrid. So these are just 2 examples of the wealth of PHEVs or plug-in hybrids that are currently available for purchase. If you attend the plug-in hybrid breakout room, our ambassador Joe Teresi will also be able to answer questions about other plug-in hybrids, including the Kia Niro, the Mitsubishi Outlander, and the Lexus NX. Okay, so in conclusion, that was a whirlwind, I understand, but I want to wrap it all up by saying that the major automobile manufacturers have finally committed to converting their fleets to all electric in the coming years. And several of these new electric-only companies have plans to capture a substantial share of this market with their very competitive offerings. So as you can tell by this very, very quick overview of all the available vehicles that are coming out this year, almost every manufacturer has an electric vehicle coming out this year. And that gives me great hope that 2022 is indeed the year of the EV. Okay, taking a breath now, I'm going to talk about some insider tips that will help you go EV. So, as I discussed earlier, COVID has caused a shortage of automobiles for sale. So this low supply, coupled with high demand, especially of the newest, flashiest models, combine to create what dealers are calling a market adjustment. And that basically means a markup on their cars. And as I mentioned earlier, this markup can be anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000. And it's not just on electric vehicles, it's on gas-powered cars as well. That's unfortunately the state of affairs right now. So what do we do about this markup? Well, one of the obvious pieces of advice is to shop around. As you can see, I've pulled up the Hyundai Ioniq 5, and I did a little bit of shopping around last week. I found that dealers in Sacramento were charging a $7,500 premium on this vehicle. When I looked at San Jose, they were charging a $5,000 premium. And when I went to Tracy Hyundai, I found that they were charging only $3,500 premium, which is a lot less than $7,500. There's a final option that I would suggest you try, and that is a company called GoKarlKnapp. And they are an online broker that will help you find a car. They have relationships with dealers across California. And so sometimes they are able to reduce the price of the vehicle and get a better deal than you're able to get on your own. I didn't call GoKarlKnapp and ask about the Hyundai Ioniq 5, but I do know that an acquaintance of mine was in the market for a Nissan Leaf very recently. And at his local dealer, they were charging a $5,000 premium. And when he inquired with GoKarlKnapp, they said they were pretty certain that they could reduce that premium if they purchased the car using their dealer networks for a reduced premium of only $2,500. So it is worth a call to GoKarlKnapp if you're really trying to reduce the premium as much as possible. The other option, of course, is to wait for the supply to increase and for the industry to adjust itself so that supply is greater in the coming months. Okay, let's talk about another purchasing tip that revolves around the federal tax credit. The important thing to know about this slide is that you will not get a federal tax credit on manufacturer vehicles that have hit their 200,000th sale of electric vehicles. So General Motors and Tesla, you can no longer get a federal tax credit if you purchase their vehicles. The two other manufacturers that are about to reach their 200,000 unit sales are Toyota, and it's estimated that they will reach that limit sometime this quarter. And so what that means is that potential buyers have until approximately June in order to still receive the full tax credit for their purchase of a Toyota electric vehicle. The cars that are affected are the RAV4 Prime plug-in hybrid and the Prius Prime plug-in hybrid. The same thing is happening with Ford a little bit later. They're expected to hit their 200,000th sale sometime between July and September, which means it's estimated that consumers will have until the end of this year to still get the full tax credit if they purchase a Ford Mach E or a Ford F-150 Lightning. Now, the good news about the federal tax credit is that there are potential changes happening, and they will be enhancements. We don't know if this is going to happen or not. These enhancements to the federal tax credit were built into the Build Back Better bill. And as we know, that bill did not pass. However, Congress is trying to pass another bill in which the federal tax credit will get these enhancements. And if so, it's a great thing for EV owners. First of all, the 200,000 sales limit will be removed. So General Motors and Tesla vehicles will again qualify for the tax credit. The tax credit will be able to be given to the purchaser at point of sale rather than waiting for when you file your taxes. The credit will be fully refundable, which means that even if you don't have a tax liability, you will get that full amount of money back. There's also an extra $5,000 for certain vehicles that are made in the USA with union workers and union-made and USA-made batteries. So far, there's only 2 vehicles that qualify for that additional $5,000, and that is the Chevy Bolt and the F-150 Lightning, but hopefully more vehicles will be made in the USA with union labor soon. All right, the caveat, the downside of the changes to the federal tax credit are that new price and income limitations will take effect. And that means that cars, you can only get the tax credit on cars that cost up to $55,000 and pickup trucks that cost up to $75,000. And the credit will be reduced for individuals making over $400,000. But another upside to the federal tax credit is that it will now also apply to the purchase of used EVs up to $25,000. You can actually get a $4,000 tax credit for purchasing a used EV, and you can't get that now. So fingers crossed, be on the lookout to hear about the federal tax credit bill that enhances these benefits for EV owners. And yes, fingers crossed that this actually happens. Okay, I'm going to stop momentarily for an announcement. We are now opening up our breakout rooms so that our hosts can join them before the breakout session begins. So you might get a pop-up window inviting you to join a room, but please don't enter the breakout rooms yet. We will let you know when the breakout room session has begun. And with that announcement, let's move on to charging tips, or where to charge your car for free. Okay, this should be familiar to you. It is a Target store and it has EV chargers. Targets in the Bay Area are installing ChargePoint Level 2 chargers, and they are providing 2 hours of free charging for their customers anywhere that they've installed these chargers. After two hours, the customer pays $2 per hour. So these stations are cropping up everywhere. I have seen them in San Jose Target, Cupertino Target, San Ramon Target, Sunnyvale Target, and Rohnert Park, and I'm sure more will follow. All right, here's a company that has also cropped up recently. It's called Volta, and their income is, they get their income from advertising, and thus they are able to provide their consumers with free charging. So anywhere you see a Volta fast charger, you will get to charge for 30 minutes for free. And anywhere they provide a level 2 charger, you'll be able to charge for 2 hours for free. You can go to voltacharging.com and look up on their map to see where all their chargers are. They're usually located at shopping malls. Now, really quickly, if you are a student, faculty, or staff at a community college, such as the College of Marin, Skyline College, Chabot College, you are likely going to get free charging as a benefit of being a student, faculty, or staff at one of these community colleges. And finally, Did you know that our 3 major Bay Area airports, San Francisco, San Jose, and Oakland, provide free charging, level 2 charging in their parking garages? And finally, as we wrap up, for our Palo Alto residents, this one is for you. You might recognize this movie theater. It's on San Antonio Road, just across the Mountain View border. And this is my favorite place to charge. I roll my car into the garage, and just to the right of the entrance, I plug my EV into a level 2 charger that is located right there. And I have about 40 miles of extra range when the movie is done. And I hesitate giving this away because I think it's the best kept charging secret on the peninsula, but I'm willing to offer it up in case it's that one additional perk that makes even one more person in this room make the switch to an EV. Besides, if that single charger is taken, you can drive up to the top of the parking structure and get a charge with a view, because there are an additional 8 free chargers on the rooftop.
We wanted to let you know about a way you can help make EVs more accessible to folks that don't have access to charging at home. So people who live in apartments and condos often have a hard time charging. So if you go to the next slide, many of us have been advocating that the California Building Standards Commission change the code so that multifamily residents have the same access to charging in new construction as single family residents. So as you can see on the chart, since 2015, everybody in a new single family home has been able to just charge their car at home. It was built that way. But only 3% of multifamily buildings had that access. This year, I'm proud to say our coalition, Acterra, has been helping to lead the coalition of EV advocates. We were able to get them to move it to 40% of units with parking have EV charging access. Big step forward, but it's far from where we need to be, which is 100%. So if you go to the next slide, Ariane, thank you. Our coalition has been expanding and growing. We have, as you could see, over 222 organizations that are part of our coalition. They're just some of their logos. And over 3,500 people have signed on to letters in support. And we are looking for more volunteers to help. We have an interim code cycle. In the next 18 months, we have a chance to strengthen this dramatically. So if you would like to join us, we have a wide range of ways people can help. From just a one-time action like emailing the governor or your legislator, to a bigger commitment like coming to a public meeting and giving a comment. And we can help you with the talking points, so it's not that hard. So that link, I think Irvin's going to drop it into the chat for us. That's a place where you can show how you'd like to get involved. And finally, everybody here tonight, you could actually send an email to Governor Newsom right now. It's pre-written. It's at this link, the bit.ly link for Newsom EV Equity. And the letter's pre-written, and you just fill in your name and where you live, so he knows you're a California resident. And he will get a message asking him to show leadership in getting residents of multifamily housing access to EV charging.
So I've just received the green light to share this event with you. Los Altos High School will be hosting an EV Expo on Saturday, February 12th from 1 to 3 p.m. This is an amazing opportunity to see a variety of makes and models up close and actually in person. It is one of the first local in-person EV events that I know about since the start of COVID. So I hope that you are as excited about this opportunity as we are. And I want to thank Sybil Kramer and the event organizers for opening it up to tonight's audience. The information is on the screen. You don't have to RSVP, you just show up. It features a lot of currently available vehicles, including the Lucid Air with 500 plus miles of range. And you just go to Los Altos High School's parking lot at 201 Almond Avenue in Los Altos on Saturday, February 12th between 1 and 3 p.m. There'll be a number of EV owners that will share their vehicles and answer your questions. It promises to be a very exciting event, really one of the first in-person events that I will go to since COVID started. And with that last special event announcement, we have reached the end of our program.